our guest is going to be Eddie Benz.
My guy.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, yeah, my name's Eddie Benz. That's my stage name. I'm from the West Bank. I was in fucking high school and I started recording because, like, I hate jobs. I worked as a busboy, so, like, that seemed pretty inhumane, so...
Where'd you work as a busboy?
So it was this Italian place on the West Bank, and it was musty as fuck. I was busboy, and, like, you know, you just had to deal with, like, pieces of shit, you know? And, yeah, they stopped hitting me up. They stopped, like, scheduling me for shifts. It was,
really?
Like, yeah, that was actually a good thing, though, because I didn't have to quit, and they just stopped, you know?
I feel that.
Yeah, I wish all my jobs would do that.
So, what type of music do you make?
I don't know, man. Sing a little bit, or I try to. Rap a little bit. And, I don't know, I feel like it's just a stream of consciousness, you know?
Yeah.
I go, literally, we're just talking about, like, I bring my snowball mic to the car, right in front of my house, and then just record. That's a stew.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're looking at this, like, you don't need a lot of money to do this shit. Just express yourself, you know, in whatever way. Like, so when I first started recording, this shit's crazy. I'll bring my laptop and mic around the corner by this Wendy's, and I would record at night next to the dumpster.
So why the Wendy's dumpster?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I was like, that just felt like the place, you know?
Really?
Yeah,
it was just like the vibes are in check.
Yeah, like I was just attracted to it for whatever reason. I don't know.
I feel that. That's crazy though.
Yeah, that was probably like 4 years ago. I was probably like 18 or something, and at night I would just, you know, record, mix, do my shit next to a dumpster.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it, and like, I don't know, I haven't really moved far. Like, I've been to studios before, like nice studios, and like, I just prefer recording by myself.
I feel that because it's like everybody creates in different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody has like different feelings they need, like when they're like producing.
Right.
So
it's
like
it's cool if you want someone else's
close
influence on your music. Like, I understand there's a bunch of songs that go crazy, and it's like a bunch of dudes in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
But like the shit that I make, it's, you know, I gotta be by myself. In high school, I was always into music, like just more than the average person. Like, you know, I actively search for music. You know, there's a lot of people that like just passively let music come to them, and it's like, that's cool. But I was always trying to find like something that suited me the best, and I feel like I dialed in on a style a little bit, and like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And at first, it was crazy because before I did it, I was like, oh yeah, because I would listen to people for reference, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm the best, you know what I mean? I can do this. You know, I feel like you have to have that sort of just divine intervention type thing. It's like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do, you know what
Exactly.
I mean?
It's like, I say this in like all of these interviews. It's that gut feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally that gut feeling that's telling you, like, I want to keep doing this and I don't want to stop.
And I can only tell like a select few people like about that, because, you know, you can seem like cocky or whatever, but it's like, it just is. It's yeah, this is what I should be doing, you know?
Exactly. Who are your inspirations? Like, who did you see?
When I think the first album I ever bought as a kid was a Boston album. It was the one with like the UFO on it, and that's just like straight classic rock. Like, the lead singer has a powerful ass voice. Like, it was actually like decent, but it was pretty mainstream. And it was crazy because I remember the second album I ever bought was not Maroon 5. I'm smoking dick. It was Matchbox 20, bro. Have you ever heard of this shit?
Matchbox 20.
Dude, I think I was like 5 years old and I bought that album. That shit had bangers on it. I don't even know what was the most formative, like, because I feel like over the years I've passively just listened to so much shit that I feel like that's formed my music subconsciously, you know? You always have to passively consume, like, everything, you know, and just let it sink in. Or at least that's what I do. It's like, just experience things firsthand, and then, like, after the fact, I'll, like, retroactively, like, make sense of this in, like, music form, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You have to experience things actively. That actually reminds me of my album that I'm dropping. So, like, all right, I'm gonna do an exclusive here. I'm about to drop the album title. Not that anyone gives a fuck, but so it's gonna be called Voyeur, which, like, I don't know if you've ever used that word in any context, but it's sort of intriguing. It's like someone who watches someone without them knowing. You know what I mean? Or there's like a second definition, and it's like someone who gets pleasure from like watching other people's pain. You know what I mean? And I don't know what like I wanted the album to portray this like sort of third person kind of going through life, like sort of in the third person, you know? Like I'm always kind of watching myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I hope to portray that like in an album format, because I did the EP and that I was just figuring out my sound kind of, and then I think this is gonna be it's a cohesive message, you know what I mean?
It's very curated.
Like and I feel like it's really relevant to people right now, you know, who suffer with like anxiety and shit, or you know, anxiety, whatever, depression. It's like cliche at this point, but people, you know, who feel like they're passively consuming or going through life, you know.
Yeah.
It's all like I feel like my music also almost gives off a tone of like disassociating, you know,
Yeah.
in a way, that's fine. I want that to like bleed out into the music a little bit. 'Cause I want people to experience it, you know. But it's weird because we were talking about like when you consume music, you're interpreting it in a different way that like the next person did, and like obviously different than the person who created it.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know, the way you perceive things is all tailor-made to you. That's like the beauty of it. That's why you can't get mad when people don't like your shit, you know?
Yeah, like for real, because it's like, it's not for everybody.
Yeah,
I didn't make this for everybody.
Right.
Like for real.
It's for me. Like, you know,
Nah.
it's for me.
Real deep.
If you take to it, then it's great.
Exactly. Okay, so what would you want people to take from this interview? What would be your closing statements?
I would say, damn, just live in the moment. Don't think. Try to think like as little as possible. And yeah, just do things.